Could it be? But me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to another episode of the Card Collector Series podcast. I, of course, am your set man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this content, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button for more great content. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and to also hit the like button as it helps this channel grow exponentially. So, at the end of each of these podcast episodes, we always have a pack rip. Today is no different. We will open up a 2021 NBA Draft Picks Chronicle pack. And so right now, it looks like that's all we're going to get out of these 2021 NBA Draft stars are, cards with them in their college unis. Doesn't seem like we're going to get any NBA uniform cards anytime soon. We'll see if that's subject to change. And that's kind of where we bleed into today's topic. And if you're not interested in today's topic, feel free to fast forward to the end of the video where we get to the pack rip. But I want to talk about the 2026 landscape and the monopoly all of a sudden that Fanatics has on the hobby, if you will. Topps always boxed out anyone that was looking to corner the market with their MLB exclusive license deal. They've been with the MLB for 75 years. Now that's come to an end, obviously, with Fanatics agreeing to a deal with Major League Baseball and its Players Association. And now Fanatics has done the same thing. We didn't talk about it here on the show, but a few days later, they agreed to a deal with both the NBA and the NFL, and they'll be taking over those respective sports in 2026. They'll take over MLB in 2023, and by 2026, they will have cornered the market. They'll have all three of the major sports and the exclusive license to show the uniforms and all of that good stuff, autographs, all of that will just be with Fanatics. So the question now becomes, and there's so many layers to this that I can't cover it all in one podcast episode, or at least I'm not going to attempt to. I can spread this out over multiple episodes. And so today, the angle that I want to take a look at is what happens in the interim. Obviously, Topps knows that the end is near. A lot of people think that Fanatics is going to ultimately buy Topps out and purchase it. And I think that might actually be the best for all parties involved, but we'll see what happens. I don't want Topps to go away. I think they are synonymous with trading cards, specifically baseball in particular, and I would like them to stick around. Same thing with, what Panini has done for the basketball and football space. I'd like Fanatics to kind of weave a little bit of that into what they're going to ultimately do. We don't know if they're going to totally change the product, similar to what Panini did, and kind of give it a facelift, so to speak. And that became something that people got used to, was seeing Panini products. But we'll see what they decide to do. But in the interim, knowing that the clock's ticking and that you only have, in the case of Topps, a couple of years, and for Panini with the NFL and NBA, you've got 5 years. What does that mean for these next couple of years for these particular brands? Are they going to get lazy, and not necessarily put as much effort into rolling out new products because, you're not building on anything, right? Like, there's no need. Like, I was surprised to see some of the things that Panini did this year, knowing, but I'm thinking they were rolling this out before they ended up losing the contract to Fanatics. I think that, like with Select, for instance, you're seeing them have, it just used to be a hobby box. It wasn't affordable for people like me and you out there that didn't have a big bankroll that could just drop $2,000 on a hobby box. That's the only way you had access to Select products in the past. Now there's, hanger boxes and blaster boxes and H2 boxes. So now it's more affordable for the average Joe. They're doing it, and I call that a spinoff. So in the Chronicle pack we're going to open today. In Chronicle, there are certain cards that you get in Chronicle, like Recon, for instance, is a great example. The NBA rolled out Panini rolled out a brand new Recon hobby box this year. Recon never had its own, product. You would get it in Chronicles. That would be like, I remember I was first introduced to Recon back in 2019 with Zion Williamson and Ja Morant, because I went crazy on the Chronicles that year because I was after those guys in particular. And I hit a bunch of different hits with Ja and Zion in those Chronicle packs, and Recon was one of those hits. But you couldn't get it anywhere else. And now it's almost like a sitcom where you've got a character that's not a main character, but it's one of the big role characters, alongside the main character, and that person then gets its own show, a spinoff. That's sort of like what Panini's doing with Recon and some of these other products that didn't used to have their own box by itself. It just was a part of another brand like Chronicles. I don't know if you're going to see more of that moving forward, because they know that what's the point? Why should we spend more money to create new products, expansive products that we could build upon in the future if we were going to be around? Why would we do that now, knowing that we're not going to be here but for another 5 years in this NBA or NFL space? So I want to know, are they going to get lazy? Are they going to say, you know what? We're just going to stick to our major brands. We're going to continue with the big boy, boxes, of course, National Treasures and Impeccable and things of that nature. We're going to continue with the core brands, obviously Prism, right? Optic is another one. Like, they're going to continue to do that. But, we're going to cut out some of the other ones that we've been, mass producing over the years because they're not as important. Or it could go in the other direction and they could decide, you know what? It's a money grab. Let's get as many of these cards out to people as possible and oversaturate the market, which nobody in the hobby wants. We don't want more of rare products. We want less of them. That's what makes them rare, and that's what makes them valuable. Okay? One of the things about the Zion Williamson rookie that drove me nuts is that everybody's got one. Everybody's got a silver. So it's not rare. Everybody's got a Ja Morant rookie. So it's not rare. It's interesting to see what will happen with Panini in particular, because they own both the NFL and NBA, but they still got 5 years till 2026 to really, extend it and get as much as they can out of the product. Will they oversaturate the market? Will they start flooding it with cards that shouldn't be out there in mass quantity? Or will they continue going in the direction that they've been going and go and bow out gracefully? We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how both Topps and Panini play the string out. They know that the end is near. For Topps, it's a little bit more imminent. For Panini, they still got a little bit of a runway, a little bit of a grace period. But at the end of the day, both know that at some point in the near future, the time is going to be up. And what they do in between now and that time is going to be really critical to their company's success moving forward thereafter. I'm interested to see what happens with both Panini and Topps, specifically Panini. It's over for Topps. But for Panini, they got 5 years left. What do they do with those 5 years? How do they attack the market? Status quo, more aggressive, less aggressive, lazy, passive aggressive, super aggressive. What's going to happen? Only way to find out is to stay tuned. Let's get to our 15 card rip in this Chronicles draft pick value pack. I don't like rookies in their college jerseys, but again, when they're giving these away, I don't turn them down. So let's get into this thing, see what's in here, see if we can find exclusive playbook base and bronze parallels. See if we can find any of those. So We start with an NBA Hoops, Greg Brown. Cade Cunningham, Chronicles. Trey Mann, rated rookie. Charles Bassey, NBA Hoops. Moses Moody, Chronicles. Franz Wagner, and that's a flux. Throw it off to the side. Let's see who this is. Joel Ayani. That's a luminance. All right, throw that off to the side. Jaden Springer. That's an XR. Like, XR is getting their own box. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's a spinoff to me. Scotty Barnes, Playbook. Got another Charles Bassey, this time in the Donruss rated rookie space. Moses Moody, NBA Hoops. Jalen Johnson, Chronicles. Did not end well for him at Duke. Franz Wagner, NBA Hoops. Jaden Springer, Chronicles. Seems like they're doubling up on a lot of these dudes. We're getting two of their cards. And Herbert Jones, Luminance. And just to go back to this luminance, this was a bronze luminance here. Need to point that out, of Joel Ayani. So, anyway, nothing noteworthy there. But that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on this episode of the Card Collector Series podcast. We'll talk more about this topic down the road. There'll be more discussions about this because there's so many different layers to this. You know, what is Fanatics going to do? What's going to be their angle? How are they going to attack the card market and the hobby? Because again, they've essentially monopolized this thing. Outside of soccer, they've essentially taken over the entire card industry. So what direction are they going to take this thing? A lot of questions, not a lot of answers right now, but we'll discuss all of that in the coming weeks, months, years. So that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, on this episode of the Card Collector Series podcast. If you enjoy this content, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button for more great content. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And also hit the like button, as it helps this channel grow exponentially. Until next time, I'm your man Louie T, reminding you that it's hunting season. It never ends, especially here on the Card Collector Series. Until next time, you guys, take care. Happy hunting. Have a good one.
LouieTeeNetwork.